Hello. So today's the seventh day of my fifth cycle. And the seventh day has been the worst day every time. Even when I had R-CHOP, which was the chemo all in one day. And the neulasta was on day 2. And right now, the last 3 cycles, 3, 4, 5, I've had R-EPOC, which is dose adjusted over 5 days, and then neulasta goes on the 6th day. 7th day is still the worst. Still the worst. The neulasta gives me symptoms like sore throat, like on the outside and inside. My muscles are tender, coming all the way up to my occiput and across my shoulders. My pecs are super tender. All my upper body muscles are tender when I wake up on Sunday after the neulasta. But this time, I have percocet. And I really thought that I would wait till later in the day to take one, but I woke up and took one. I'm glad I did. I was nice to my kids today. After being a prednisone ogre for 5 days. And some things that I have been noticing I just wanted to share. Because, when the body doesn't feel good, emotions are different, and thoughts are different, and feelings are different. So, today I was noticing how I don't share a lot of stuff with Chrissy, my wife. And I was wondering about that. Like, why haven't I been telling her, like, how I'm feeling, like, on a daily basis? If something's there, like, why not talk to her about it? And I really don't know 100% the answer yet, because I really just started kind of digging into this today. But I think I'm just an independent person, have been for so long, and this process really isn't conducive to independence. Having this type of illness, having this type of recovery, this type of process, is not something that you can just stay out there on your island and do alone. I can't. Maybe some people can. I think one of the lessons in this for me is to embrace my community and allow my community to contribute to me far beyond what I have accepted in the past. I let people contribute in small ways. Why? Something to wonder about, I guess. So, it's the evening of the 7th day, so I can just tell you how today was, I guess. I woke up with a lot of muscle pain. It's very tender, as if they were bruised, and worked out really hard yesterday, or, maybe a couple days ago, like delayed soreness. But just touching is very tender, all those areas. And my throat's tender, and I can feel like overnight my throat gets dry. And, like you might just swallow. And I can feel it gully down, it takes like 5-6 seconds. And then when it gets to my stomach, it really hurts. It's so dry. And it's inflamed or something, or I don't know what the neulasta does there, but definitely doing something with whatever produces white blood cells or the mucus lining. I don't know enough about that to say what could be happening. But something's happening, and this has been a hard day every time, with food and drink and what I can eat and what I can't, usually the 7th and 8th day. And then it goes from this sort of acute tenderness to like a deep ache. And so I'll be taking percocet twice a day. Probably not more than that. I don't think I'll need it more than that. For like 7 or 8 days. But definitely grateful for that, because, I don't want to yell at my kids. I don't want to be aggravated by every sound I hear, And, this process, I'm sure there's people who just, bulldoze their way through it, and maybe they build more walls and to, like, I don't know. There's stuff that happens to people that blows my mind, like their loved ones don't know how to deal with it, and their friends ghost them. And as far as I can tell, I haven't been ghosted, and if you ghosted, then that's just your stuff. It's not me. It's not mine. And everybody deals with this kind of thing in a different way. Not just the patient, not just the caretakers, but the community, the family, the friends, coworkers, colleagues. Everybody deals with it differently. And the people who have had cancer or have been through illness, something is different there. There's a knowing that they have, an understanding. And so they'll roll with it differently than someone who hasn't. And people have been wonderful. I don't know what I'm going to do with this video. I didn't really make a plan for what I was going to talk about, except to just tell you how the 7th day is going, and for you to see me like, what's the worst day like? I'm really exhausted. I know what I can tell you about. I got really clear today about what my physical limits were. Yeah. I made breakfast. I thought I was going to make this delicious wrap and like enjoy it, and I put some veggies in. I did some, basically when I was waking up, I was like, scrambled egg wrap with salsa sounds so good. And I got up and I was like, I'll throw some veggies in. And then I just ate all around the veggies. I did not want the veggies at all. And I was like, oh, why didn't I just go with what I wanted? Veggies would be healthier. And I just my body was like, don't do it. And then later I had another one, and I made it the way I wanted it, just the eggs. Yeah. So yes, I did notice something today. And I've talked about how I was really overworked prior to this, and Chrissy and I have been talking about this. And I said, I really had it that we needed to move. We needed to buy a house. And that was like a big goal of mine and why I was willing to work so hard. And all that hard work, we did save up a significant amount of money. Not enough for a down payment, but for, in a year it would have been. And I said to her, I just have relinquished that need to move, that like we need to buy a house because maybe there's something else in the plans for us. And that's why it hasn't happened. I've been like going, against the grain so hard. I said, and we saw what we can do in 6 months financially, like how much we can save, and doing it the hard way, like working way too hard, and it wasn't a good balance for either of us, for her to be home with the kids all the time and for me to be at work basically all the time. And, I'm really good at being engaged with my kids. And so the time that they get with me is quality, and I want more of it. I want more of that good quality time with them. And so we're sort of in an inquiry stage of what's next for us. And some of it is getting clarified, and some of it has yet to be, I guess, revealed or laid out. But one of the things I know for sure is I have relinquished this just attachment to buying a home as soon as possible. And when I looked at that, like, what was it about buying a home? What was that? And, if we own the home, we can paint, we don't have to worry about what we put on the walls or whatever, and patching, anchor holes or anything like that. So I had a little of that going on, and just like the yard isn't really conducive to a garden. And then I was like, do I really want a garden? Maybe I don't. I don't know. I don't really know what I want right now. And so I've just said, and I've talked about some other video. My kids were born here. This is their home. This is it. They were like born in this house. And so for them, there's no other home. And so I can rest with that for a while and just let that be. And let whatever will come in this particular area. I've also noticed along the same sort of lines, like what I thought I would be doing to make money. Not at this point related to the diagnosis and treatment and all that, but just prior, without ever knowing. The plans I had are, those were the plans that Tara made. They weren't really in alignment with, the powers that be, God. So we'll see what comes of that. Thank you for watching. I love you. May your life be wonderful.